Everything we have to continue to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to the East-West Show. My dear fellow Americans, welcome to the show that talks about America. We have a lot to talk about. This show was scheduled for Wednesday. However, I can't wait because there are so many important things to talk about that we want to rather do it on a Monday rather than a Tuesday than a Wednesday. Of course, Wednesday we will have enough to talk about too.
Yeah.
All right. With me today, caring about the United States, caring about our own country, showing a lot of love, is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming has been a CPA for his life. I mean, the supreme kind of a CPA who makes tons of money. And he doesn't have any worry about money for this life, but he does have a worry about the United States.
That's true.
Where are we heading? So once again, we're sitting here to talk about so many important subjects. So welcome to the show.
Jack, as you know, this is my favorite place on planet Earth with you and your viewers.
Very good.
Hallelujah.
Very good. And it hurt me to see anything that you say, I got a doctor appointment. I hate the word doctors.
I do too. It's not fun, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What did the doctor say last checkup?
Well, I had a knee surgery, okay, and it actually has been 72 days ago today, and I've had a lot of pain for most of those days. It's now improving, but I couldn't play tennis, and I have to be careful. I have to walk carefully and slowly, otherwise, because I can't let it set myself back. So I see my surgeon again today and complain, is this successful or a failure? Had a new MRI on my knee last week, let him look at it, and then he'll tell me, probably not tell me the truth. He'll probably say, oh, you're going to be fine. And then I'll keep in pain.
You'll live.
That's the way it is, yeah.
You'll live, don't worry.
Yeah,
don't worry.
I'm here
You'll
with
live.
you.
You'll live.
Yeah.
And we're not ready yet.
No, I'm not ready yet, no.
And I'm even more not ready, because the other day I was driving with a friend, very humorous friend, driving by Rose Hill.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Resting place.
And we were talking about the expensive land, the price whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he concluded, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm too poor to die.
Yeah. Actually, dying is very expensive. And sometimes people should take out just a little life insurance policy for $10,000.
Unless you want to die like a dog.
It's actually quite, even cremation, it's not cheap.
All
And
right,
some people
anyway.
can't afford it.
Okay, forget that part.
He's right. Can't afford to die.
Yeah, I'm happy with that conclusion.
Me too.
I'm not happy with that fact that I'm a poor, but if I'm too poor to die though, okay, I'll accept it.
Have to just keep living.
All right, very good. And on top of today, what do you have?
Well, I think one thing that is not national, but it's international, and it's huge. Okay, President Trump, with his communication with the leadership in Israel and the leadership in the United Arab Emirates country, which is a small country but very rich in oil. They have now entered into a sort of a peace agreement and now the UAE now recognizes Israel as a valid country on planet Earth. It's the third country, in the Arab Empire over there that did. 79, Egypt did when President Carter had something with Arafat and they had agreement. That was nice. Of course, Arafat then, who was an Egyptian guy, then was slaughtered by some of his military in a military parade. Very sad. Then in 1994, Jordan recognized Israel and they have established a relationship. Now with the UAE, it's beautiful because it will open up, and Israel said they will not do many more settlements on the West Bank, and that helps the Palestinians at least. But then a lot of the other countries over there absolutely hate it. They said, "Oh, you're a traitor to the Arab and Palestinian needs, et cetera, et cetera." But it's a beautiful thing. Trump should get the Peace Prize for this, and of course they won't do it.
What do the left media say?
Actually,
this?
yeah, not as bad as you expect them to say. They kind of say, "This is progress. This is good." And they don't say, "I'm proud of President Trump for doing it." In fact, Joe Biden, who's the candidate for president, he says, "Well, Trump was able to do that because Obama and I, we set the table for this, so we really did it." I mean, which is total insanity.
I handled that piece of news early morning of Friday, I believe.
Yes.
Right. And I was so excited to hear that news.
Very exciting.
And you know what? Anybody, almost nobody can do anything, push forward anything positively
Yeah.
in that whole area.
I know.
For decades after decades after decades.
Yes.
And it is him, it is United States of America, our president,
Yes.
Donald Trump, did it. I call it historical.
It's absolutely historical, and I have great pride in our country for being a factor in. Look, over there they kill
And
each other so
historical-
much.
And a historical milestone
Yeah.
moving forward.
And also, a lot of the countries, the Arab countries over there, are aligning with America and Israel against Iran, which is really scary to all the other Arab countries. They get any nuclear weapon or something, nobody's safe over there.
The beautiful part is that not only the relationship between Israel and UAE,
Yes, sir.
it is a role model there
Right.
for others to follow.
Stepping stone. We expect other countries
Right?
will get on
Even
board.
by the agreement itself, though,
Yeah.
it is not only between the two countries
Yeah.
by which Israel will recognize some land,
Yes, sir.
some territories, right, on the East Bank.
West Bank.
Oh, on the west.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, on the West Bank.
Yes, sir.
And on the other side, though, it will confirm some rights, some occupation on the other side.
One of the things that gives hope again to a two-state solution, where Palestine's got part of the area, Israel's got part, and they, right now there's a lot of Palestinians that live in Israel.
Palestinians
a lot of them.
Palestinians can claim their own.
They can be a citizen in Israel,
Yeah. All right.
and
Okay.
they vote. It's true, but but there's hope. That's the big word. There's hope.
Big or small, there are 50 countries in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. And so finally, there's some kind of role model
Yeah,
for people to follow.
yeah,
The more join the party, the agreement though, the more isolated Iran becomes.
that's the whole. Yes,
Right?
precise. That's brilliant. Exactly
All
right.
Very good. So I would say that I keep admiring a 74-year-old man
Yes,
who had no worry about money
yes.
for his life, son's life,
Successful,
granddaughter's life, goes on and on for several
lovely wife.
generations,
Yeah,
and working for 12 hours a day
he does. 7 days a
For-
week.
for $4 a year
That's right.
as salary.
He donates his salary to causes in America. That's beautiful. No one else has done that. No one. And there's been other very rich presidents.
And the poor side is that you look around, about 95% of the media do not buy him.
They
Whatever
They
he
were
said-
obsessed with Hillary
whatever
Clinton.
he says is
Yeah.
wrong.
Because if he had been really a career politician, then they might have accepted him better. Because he comes in from the outside, comes down the escalator, debates 16 other long-time life politicians, governors and senators, and wipes them out. And then Hillary, who's more than a lifetime whatever,
You know me, right?
Yeah.
You know where I came from.
I do,
right?
when I met you.
And in day one,
Yeah.
I was not a supporter.
Yes, sir.
Right. As a matter of fact, on several issues against him, I used to go against him a lot.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I must say that I have been convinced. And by and by, when I see one after
Accomplishments.
these accomplishments,
Yeah.
though,
The results.
you got to finally you got kind of convinced. Right. Prior to him, nobody has done anything in that area.
Like, no, not successfully.
Take Obama,
Right.
Right, except one bow,
Yeah.
nothing else.
What Obama did was give $160 billion to Iran. That is not a great decision. I mean, that's just, we sent money there that was used to kill American soldiers in terrorist attacks all over the world. We killed our own people.
With the Israel, with the UAE, with the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Who will be the next to join?
Yeah,
to
that
your judgment.
Well, because I read results. I'm not going to do it here of all the other neighboring countries, and there is a feeling that there's nobody's identified as the next one, but there's several that don't like this agreement, and several that do. And so the ones that do, it'll be one of those that are supportive and excited to have a little more security and peace in the area. It's all about Iran.
All
it's
right,
all
let's
about Iran.
Let's take a moment now. When we come back, we probably peek into the future a little bit, see who else will probably be ready or will join the agreement.
It's called James. I'm host of English News for the morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear brothers, sisters. Welcome back to the show, Check Chow on the East West with my friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, lover to the community, a philosopher, and a lover to Constitution, and
Very
I
much.
respect him a lot. Welcome back to the show. Okay,
Thank you.
now, we're talking about one of the biggest thing for the last week. As a matter of fact, it was on last Friday, I say cross-line news.
Mm-hmm.
Even the left media had to do it.
Oh, they did.
Because a peace agreement.
It was decently accepted.
was
Yes.
made. All right. So now, lots of people say that sets up a role model for other countries in that area to follow.
It will.
That area, the Middle East, that area being what, hot pot, ever his
It's
history.
hot, yeah.
Ever since history.
Yeah.
Whoever can stop wars
Yes.
in that area
Is the statesman.
should be the one out
statesman.
leader.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's the statesmanship.
right.
Yeah. Now,
And
by the way, one great thing in early September, supposedly, we'll have Israel and the UAE come to the White House and sign the peace agreement. Now, that will be big. That will be beautiful. And they'll shake hands.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Okay. And we're pretty sure, as commented, lots of other countries will follow.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right.
And
Good.
once one does, then it makes it easier for the next. And it's
So domestically, Joe Biden has made his running mate.
yes.
And how much do you know about Joe Biden? How much do you know about her?
Well, let me start out with one little tidbit about Sleepy Joe or whatever you call it. But, everybody's got names for everybody. They call, like Trump has cute names for people. The radical leftist has evil names for Donald Trump. Okay, they're not cute. They're just terrible. But Joe Biden's always he plagiarizes a lot, uses other people's words, and he tells a bunch of fibs. He has always said that he was always in the top half of his law school class. Okay. Well, now it's come out there were 85 students in his law school graduating class. He was ranked number 79. So he's right at the bottom in all 3 years.
Academically?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was right near the bottom all 3 years in the law school class. And Rudy Giuliani, who's the previous mayor of New York and whatever, has a buddy that said he went to law school with Biden, and he said Biden was dumb, but he got through. He got through. I don't think he's ever really practiced law, because at 29 he got elected to the Senate, and so maybe he graduated at 24. I'm not sure what he did in a couple of years there, all local politics. But so it's kind of embarrassing, okay? And he had said, different things about that he was arrested in Africa. Well, he wasn't arrested in Africa. And he just keeps telling these stories that don't make any sense. And I also have to say, I'm feeling very sorry for him, because his mental strength and ability is declining. It's obvious. We've never had a candidate for president that hasn't taken any questions from the media that weren't pre-planned, and he already had a written up answer that he couldn't really read very well.
So far not.
It's very, actually, it's elder abuse to have him under this. So what they're all saying is, then you come up with Senator Harris to be the vice presidential candidate. That's who you're voting for president. I don't see, Biden he can't deal with China, Russia, all these international, because extemporaneously, he can't communicate.
How old is he?
He's 78, I think 78.
Lots of people worried about his age versus his health conditions.
Well, maybe physically his body's okay, but his mind it's probably senile, because he just can't.
I saw several
function.
pictures talking, about him, kind of doing this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
lost somewhere.
And he doesn't know where he is half the time. He says, "Oh, I love being here in Iowa," and he's in Ohio. He just keeps making these. So I actually have pity for him, and they're just abusing him, and he's not the candidate. And if somehow America elects him, he's just going to be an empty suit in there, and the radical left will run the country, which is exactly what we don't want.
And once again, you know me, that in the very beginning, I was kind of on his side, and I even exposed myself the other day. I like his slogan that to bring the American moral back. Remember that?
The Democratic Party is the most immoral, unethical, and lacking integrity group on planet Earth.
The reason I say that is that ever after that, I see one disappointment after another.
Yeah, there are.
And plus, so far, almost about a year now, we haven't heard anything Joe Biden comment on anything.
He's hiding in his basement. He doesn't have to, he's not on any quarantine. He can go out. President Trump goes out, everywhere. Trump's going to 2 or 3 states today, as a matter of fact. It's like, now what's going to be fun, Jack, is if Biden ever works the courage up to debate the president, they're scheduled for 3 debates. You can't just not do anything. You can't just not exist and then get voted in as president. But that's what they're kind of hoping for. But I think we will have debates.
We have
and it
2.5 months left.
Yeah, by
we
80
have
days.
2.5 months left.
Right.
So do we have time for 3 debates?
Oh yeah. They'll be coming up in October, September, October. Yeah.
September, October.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of September, though,
Yeah.
how about the convention, the Democratic Convention?
Well, it's starting today. So
It's starting today.
It's starting today. It goes today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They have a theme for each day. The theme today is "We the People." Give me a break. Oh, anyway, "We the People." Tuesday, it's "Leadership Matters." Wednesday, it's "A More Perfect Union," and Thursday, it's "America's Promise." And then I will tell you that tonight, Bernie Sanders is their quote speaker type. And it really is on from 7 to 8 o'clock at night, but some places are 6 to 8 o'clock at night. And Tuesday, Bill Clinton, ex-President Clinton, is the speaker. Wednesday, Vice President candidate Harris is speaking, and also Hillary Clinton will speak. Oh my God, I can't wait. And I am going to watch every second, and I'm going to watch CNN, which is something that I'm not a fan of.
It's quite a long time we haven't heard from her.
Yeah. And then Thursday, Biden will speak. And then also, like, for example, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, whatever her name is, they're giving her 1 minute to speak. Now, no one's got an ego like her. Nobody's as radically left as she is. She's Very dangerous to our country, very dangerous. So then she took a poem that had been written before, and here's what she said, because she has 1 minute to speak. This is a poem. I only have a minute, 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I do not choose it. But I know that I must use it, give account if I abuse it, suffer if I lose it. Only a tiny minute, but eternity is in it. And it was by a guy named Dr. Benjamin Mays. And so that was her kind of snotty, arrogant response to getting 1 minute to say something. And I will bet this figure, right off my deal, that she won't shut up after a minute. She'll just keep talking. So we'll find out. But so this is, okay, so this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay? And, you know, I have a duty because we do our shows, and I have a hunger to listen to things I'm not going to agree with much of. And they'll be their whole agenda really is to get America to vote Trump out, not to vote Biden in. They just think, and they're wrong, that Trump is so unpopular. He's incredibly popular. He's incredibly popular.
There are so many worries, so much worry about his age versus his physical condition or mental condition.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Now 78 plus 4 years, he's going to 82.
Right.
So, has America experienced and have any presidency that's 82 years old?
No, but because like right now, if he was put in as president in January, that would be the same age that Ronald Reagan when he left. Now, like Ronald Reagan, one of our greatest presidents, his last 2 years, he was having his mental issues were starting to come in. He was still very functional and very good at international relations and whatever. But then afterwards, he had 9 years of very serious Alzheimer's disease, and then passed away after 9 years of being taken care of by Nancy Reagan.
After all, Biden and Reagan, there is no comparison in between the two.
No comparison,
There is zero comparison in between the two.
Oh, now, and one thing I'd like to say about Harris, the vice president, she went to Howard College, and then she went to Hastings Law School in California, up in Berkeley area, and then she, like Willie Brown, who was a famous San Francisco mayor and kind of a cute guy, kind of radical, but a good personality, and he's a black guy, and he loved blonde women. And I saw him at the Kentucky Derby walking with two gorgeous blondes, and I said, Mr. Brown, are you enjoying your vacation that I'm paying for? He just laughed at me because I'm a California taxpayer. But she was a girlfriend of his. I think when he was married too. But she was a girlfriend, and then he was very instrumental in getting her the position she's had ultimately as the Attorney General for the state of California. Now her record in that case was very blotched.
Let's take a moment out. We really have to find out because, she is going to be the, once elected, going to be the number one person.
I know.
Of
That's
this
scary.
country. All right.
Don't make me cry.
Okay, we will be right back, my dear friend.
Everything. We have continued to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear folks, my lovely brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the show, Check Chow on the East West with my brother Ken Hemming. We are on some critical issues, talking about presidency, talking about the coming election, talking about the fact that we really have to, we taxpayers, we the boss, we the people, really have
we the people.
to think who we select, right?
We do.
And it's now is between 74 and 78.
Yes.
Right. And now
Correct.
is before somebody who has done within 3 years
Ooh,
to bring the economy back so high
yeah.
to record high.
Record.
Only-
Low unemployment.
Only lost for the last 8 months
Right.
during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and trying to make it back. By the way, the economy is back.
It's coming back strong.
Versus somebody who has done so far nothing,
Yeah.
and we haven't heard from him even a word about how he will deal with so many issues,
Right.
both international and domestic,
Yeah.
both the economy and politics.
Absolutely.
Yes, so on and so forth. And now the concern shifts from his age and the condition to the fact of, by constitution, our
Yeah.
number 2 person
Right. It's the vice
shall
president.
become number 1.
Right. And he could also resign, and then Harris would be president. I can't even conceive of it, because he's not going to be able to do 4 years of functioning in any worthy way. I mean, and he wouldn't be the president. He'd probably be just staying in the White House, and the other radical lefts in the party would run the country.
Either resign or impeach.
Right, something. Well, no, they wouldn't impeach him. They could actually.
They could,
yeah,
of course.
to get her in. They
Or
probably would.
something wrong, right?
Yeah.
Something
Or
wrong.
something wrong. And I don't want anything
yeah,
wrong.
I don't want to say that, but
No, I agree.
But as reality, you have to consider it. You can have
Yeah.
to include it in your,
As a
into your
possibility.
consideration,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, do you think, or do you, in your mind, Harris is a person who could be number 1?
You know, I pray a lot. I hope not. Okay, in the Senate, she is the most radical left person in the Senate. Now, what I just did, I looked at her voting record for the last 2 years, Jack. I looked it up on the computer, and many, many times there was an opportunity to vote. Now, probably maybe 10% of the time she voted yes. Because they were very neutral things that you would want to vote yes for. Many times that was shocking. She did not even vote. She did pass. She didn't cast a vote. And then for all the judges, and Trump's had 200 approximately federal judges appointed. She voted no on every single one. So whatever it was that Trump wanted, she voted very much against. And then most of those all passed. When she was the Attorney General in California, she put about 1,500 people in prison that were smoking marijuana, okay? And but they weren't dealers, but they got caught smoking, it's illegal, and she prosecuted them. But some other things, like a murderer that cold-bloodedly killed a cop, she wouldn't go for the death penalty, because she was very soft on these big-time criminals and very hard on small-time ones. And then on a radio, they asked her, a radio show, well, you know, did you smoke marijuana? She says, oh yeah, of course, you know, and I inhaled it too. So she's laughing at these people. She was a very unpopular Attorney General. And in the black community, you know, she's not an African-American.
By married, however,
Yeah.
we can forget her history. We can forget her origin whatsoever. By married, however,
Okay.
and political married, has she done anything that could be
What, that is admirable?
could be presentable for let's say presentable. Is there anything
Well, she's
that nature?
as radical left as Putin would be in Russia, as all these authoritarian North Korea. She'd be like that. It would be a disaster. And then also, you know, she's guided very, very radical. All right, and they're using Biden just to be a person, and then here it is. He goes, we've never had anybody that says, well, I'm going to make sure it's a woman vice president, and then I'm going to make sure it's an African American or a person of color. Her dad is Jamaican. All right, and her mom is East Indian. Now, you know, like if a white and black person have a baby, it's called a mulatto. If an Asian and a white person has a baby, the common term is Blasian. Okay, Now, she is her dad is black, but not from Africa, and her
She's
dad
not
is
that
Indian.
black.
No,
She's not that black.
But so
she's all right.
I call her a Blindian. If you got a Blasian, Asian American, her Indian American, she's a Blindian. So that's a new term that properly describes her. Not negative, just factual. And so these people like remember Elizabeth Warren says, "Oh, I'm part Indian." Well, it was 2096 Indian. I mean, they use these terms just for some sort of political point. Now, I'll tell you, in the black community, okay, about 89% want more cops. They don't want to, and she was a prosecutor, and now she's an enemy of the cops. In Biden is called the police the enemy of the people. That's insanity. We need police. And so she's not.
How
she
long
is not
has she been a senator in California?
Oh, just a couple of years. No, Biden was
right
for
after,
44 years.
Right after Feinstein, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Feinstein's still there, but yeah, she's a senator. I forget who she replaced.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I'm really thinking about to trace about any credentials.
Yeah.
All right. Political merit or something presentable.
Yeah.
For us to trust that if this person becomes number 2, though,
That you could sleep well.
She will be.
Yeah, that you could sleep at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You can sleep.
Comfort.
You can sleep better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So far you don't.
And
so
also,
far we
also,
don't see anything of that. Nature.
She's a great proponent of Black Lives Matter, which we know is a Marxist organization. And guess what? All of this stuff about her racial thing, she's married to a white guy. She's married to a white lawyer. So, I mean, what's it mean? I don't know what it means, but it certainly means.
I'm colorblind.
Me too.
I'm a colorblind. I don't
too.
say anything about his or her color.
No.
And we had Obama,
We're
and
all
then we
humans.
had Donald Trump, and we have Harris. So
Yeah.
they
Obama's
look
like
they look-
1/16
Yeah,
black.
they look the same to me, right?
Yeah, no,
But the thing is that I'm worried about her.
Her politics, her
Yeah.
It's totally against the
political
Constitution.
background.
Okay, number one, she's against the free speech. Okay, she wants to shut everybody up, and she wants to get rid of weapons. And I'll tell you, they're not going to get our weapons.
She's pro-abortion, right?
Totally pro-abortion, yes. And see, this Planned Parenthood thing was founded by a lady that had all of these places in the Latino and the black communities because she was very much a racist and wanted to, get rid of, babies of color, literally. And in fact, they've even changed the name of some of their locations.
Has she been officially confirmed as a nominee?
No, that's
as
what
as the nominee.
That's this week.
Running mate
That's this week, yes.
this week.
Yeah.
They will announce it by Thursday or Friday, right?
Yeah, well, yes. But certainly by Thursday, yes, because that's when it
Thursday.
ends.
Joe Biden is going to make a speech.
That will be his speech.
There's 1 minute speech anyway.
And I want to look at it. I want to look at it because
1 minute.
No, not for Biden. No, that's for.
What can you say for 1 minute?
No, he's going to be talking for 45 minutes or something. No, he's not 1 minute. That's Cortez, AOC. That's 1 minute. No, he's
I
going to
see.
have a full speech, but we're going to see what he does with it. It's going to be. I'm going to be worried about him. And then we all know President Trump's a
Is
pretty
it
good
determined
debater.
that the Democrats has no other options?
I think that's a very brilliant comment, Jack, because they still talk about, well, maybe they'll pull him off before, pull him out and put somebody else in there. I don't think they will. I think it's too late.
That has to happen
Pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Within this week, though.
Well, pretty much, unless they come up with some reason that, okay, he's no longer the candidate and somebody else is. But so he's there as a placeholder. What you're voting for the radical left led by Harris for president. That's
And
what it
people
is.
are-
Never before like this.
People are still not done with the investigation of his
Oh yeah.
of his son.
Biden, yeah, Hunter. It brings $1.5
Hunter
billion
Biden with
back.
with the
In
Ukraine,
the
right?
Ukraine, look, he goes to the Ukraine getting $80,000 a month, and he knows nothing about the business, doesn't speak the language, and didn't attend most of the meetings. And he was getting tons of money. Then he won Air Force Two, which is the vice president's plane, to China with Joe Biden. Comes back with he's not a financial man, with $1 billion for a small investment firm that he was in, and also then another $500 million came later. Pure bribery. And Biden threatened, remember, to hold $1 billion back from the Ukraine if they didn't fire the prosecutor that was looking into Hunter Biden's activities there.
So
It's
that
a joke.
investigation has not ended yet.
No, it hasn't.
All right, my dear friend, my lovely audiences, let's take a moment now. We come back to find out from there on how are we going to handle with those issues while the election is going on. Stay with us, please.
Continue to work on it now. It's called James. I host English news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely brothers, sisters, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Today with me is my brother Ken Hemi, who I rely upon a lot.
Thank you.
I argue with him a lot. Only these days we argue less because probably it's caused by the shift of myself,
Yes, sir.
or I'm moving along to be reasonable. I'm a reasonable person, all
You
right?
are.
So now, to be reasonable, though, you have to put the same pressure on the investigation as we did to Donald Trump about his deal with Russia, to the fact that Hunter Biden,
Yeah.
his deal with Ukraine, and also the bad Biden deal of threatening Ukraine of the
He did.
$400 million of
Yeah.
military aid
Right.
will cut you off if
Right.
you do not do X,
Stop
Y, Z,
stop
right?
the
So,
investigation.
my question, has the investigation concluded? Investigations concluded?
No, it hasn't. But one thing about investigations, this will only take 1 second, it's worth saying. And you mentioned the Russia thing. Well, there was no collusion between the President Trump's campaign and the Russians. It was a hoax that the
I know.
FBI was a
I didn't
okay,
say that we
right.
have to put
Yeah.
the equal pressure on both.
Well, the other one didn't exist. It was a hoax. It was a farce.
okay.
There was a crime. I mean, it was wrong what Hunter Biden and Joe Biden did. And also, one FBI agent now has pleaded guilty to adjusting and writing false information on FISA things in different legal documents as a criminal. It's a felony. He will end up in prison, and it'll start getting to other people because it all the way up to Biden and Obama. They knew what was going on. They participated in the greatest criminal activity of the government in our history. It's very sad, and it's going to take time. The Durham report will come out pretty soon, and it'll be naming more indictees to be tried. But so. This Biden thing could end up being indicted.
Will Americans feel comfortable while the investigation is still going on to elect the president? Like the same thing happened with Donald Trump. There was the argument, right, going back and forth when he was elected.
Yeah.
Well, the moment he comes in the office, the impeachment started.
Actually, before he was even installed as president,
I know.
they were talking about impeachment.
Let's say the moment he walks in office,
Right.
the impeachment started.
Well, that's all they
And
could
with
do.
Joe Biden, would the same thing happen the moment he walks in office? The impeachment
No,
started.
and the main reason is the media. The people that just look at the radical left media in the major networks, they don't even know what's going on with Biden, and they never mention it. Just like a 5-year-old kid shot in the head a couple days ago by a black neighbor, a little white kid head. They haven't. This is a heinous crime. crime. They haven't mentioned any CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, or ABC. They don't mention it because it's not a favorable.
Internationally, has he done anything outstanding?
Joseph Biden, he was in the Senate for like 40 years.
Yeah.
His record was like
why I'm
nominal.
asking.
Well, the one thing that he's kind of famous for is he's one of the creators of the enhanced sentencing for criminals in America, which put a heck of a lot of guys for some more moderate crimes in prison. Now, I was for it at the time, and I think we've got to keep criminals off the street. Right now, they have no bail, so you can kill somebody, you get booked into jail, and they let you go. It's more people die. It's crazy what's going on here. Without the police and without a strong.
All right,
census.
it looks like we have to worry quite a bit.
We have to worry. The
Number
soul
one,
of
we
America.
have the age versus the health condition thing.
Right.
Number two, we reversed about the investigation, which
Yeah.
has no conclusion yet.
Right.
Which probably might repeat the same story. And the inauguration started with the impeachment.
Well, it's going to be something like this, Jack. Remember Hillary Clinton? There's no question she's a major criminal in what she did feloniously, felons, like under subpoena.
Oh, that's another show.
No, I know, but I'm saying under subpoena, she destroyed 30,000 emails.
No.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
And
That's
yet
another show. That's another show.
But I'm saying, we have
talking
criminal
about,
DOJ.
I'm talking about we worry the fact that the inauguration starts with the impeachment.
Well, no, nobody's going to impeach Biden, because they're all Democrats that have the House.
All right.
Now,
okay.
if
all right, hopefully,
yeah.
and then
He's not gonna win.
We're talking about the second person. All right.
Right.
Second in the row. All right. So okay,
Be a tragedy.
let the worry rest a little bit
Yeah.
for the time being. Let's pick up the subject of the mailing.
Right. Now, Jack, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's humble, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. The Democratic Party, where we have had criminal activities in the Department of Justice, the FBI, and all the way up into the White House, criminal activities, that I believe they lack ethics, honesty, and integrity. And they want to have this send everybody out ballots to mail in for the election, which opens up,
Not all of them. They're partially, right?
Well, no,
You
I mean,
still
they want
go-
to do that nationally.
You still go to the ballot to vote.
They don't want to even. They want to just send this out. Although,
They want to replace the whole election?
All they're doing is trying to set up the opportunity for fraud, to have fake ballots, and to harvest ballots, create ballots, just for fraud, because they don't think they can win on an honest basis. And I don't think they can win on an honest basis. And then there's a huge difference between an absentee ballot, which you have to apply for. It means you're out of state or you can't get out of bed, but you're sending your ballot, an absentee ballot, and you're verified as a person, okay? So it's a fair thing to do. This other thing, you just send it out. I mean, they send it out to dead dogs, dead people that weren't. Just ridiculous things happen, okay? And it's happened in some of the local elections right now that they couldn't remember. In what was it, Iowa? They had all this. They never even determined who was the winner, ever.
Of course,
Because they want chaos.
Of course, people say that fraud might be a lot, and mainly might
colluded.
create a fraud.
Right.
I just don't know how. What is the chance to fraudulent a vote?
Well, if you just mail out ballots to people that don't even exist, I mean, there's more registered.
For my own experience is I go to a room, they have a book.
Me too.
The
me
big
too.
one.
That's
and
what it. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
consult your last name.
Yeah.
And then find it and switch the book back and you sign it.
Yeah,
Right.
the Democrats are saying, "Oh, wait, it's too dangerous to go to the ballots, in person
words,
because of COVID."
In other words,
It's
there
not.
walks in the voter.
Right.
You have to find him on a record.
Right.
Before he can start
Right,
voting.
you have to sign in. Yeah.
Now,
you give
suppose
your name,
in
your
another
ID.
situation, there comes a letter.
Yeah.
Do they do the verification?
No. Now, absentee ballots is fine. They work. Absentee ballots. I mean, if you're in the army or something, you're in Afghanistan, you vote by absentee ballots.
Even then, you have a record to
Oh yeah, you have to verify your existence.
go along with it, right?
That you're a
Okay.
citizen, and
now,
that, yeah.
suppose there are some 1,000 letters arrive
Yeah.
at the post office.
Well, yeah. In
So
the
what do they do to verify?
the post office really isn't able to handle millions and millions and millions, of ballots. They're not. And then the Democrats right now want $25 billion to upgrade the post office so they can handle it. Well, they'd never be able to handle it. And but this is just an attempt to fraudulently impact the election by the
I
Democrats.
was in a discussion with my son last night,
Okay.
talking about verification.
Yes.
And he kind of a proactive with the mailing. I'm not saying that I go against it. I'm saying that I'm worried about those holes.
I totally go against it. It's just it's an opportunity for the Democratic people that really are not honest to perform fraud.
By law, by practice, is there a way to verify the letters?
Well, no, I mean Jack. They've been sending these things out to dead people that have been dead for a long time. It would just be chaos, and believe me, we might not even know who's elected president for a long time after the election. We're supposed to find out who won the night of the election. It was 1:30 in 2015. 1:30 where they said, okay, Donald Trump is the president.
Okay, you mentioned the dead people vote. Okay, how would the dead people vote? Let's find a list.
People grab the ballot that went out and they sign it and they vote for a Democrat, and then they mail it in. That's what they do. That's called fraud. That's called cheating.
I know, but how technically people can do it? How can it be done technically?
Well, it's not. Well, if you get the ballot, it's all printed up and it's a ballot, and then you fraudulently sign the person's name, and the person isn't around even. You mail it in, it gets counted.
Okay, suppose I die today.
Yeah.
All right, and then
You're a registered voter.
I'm a registered voter.
Right.
I die today.
Yeah.
The fact of my death will not be reflected on the big book.
See, there's some counties, like in California too, where there's more people registered in the county that live in the county because they don't clean out. Once you're registered, they don't know when you died. They don't know, so they don't clean out. The inappropriate people that are still registered. Death, or they moved, or they're somewhere else, or out of country.
No. By practice, though, somebody dies, though, you get a death certificate.
Well, you don't send it to the registrar.
You get a death certificate.
They don't keep those records
from a county registrar.
It doesn't impact the registered
So
voter.
that record is shared everywhere.
Jack, they don't. The registered voter records are not maintained with any concentration of completeness.
Given the status quo, though, it is really, really a worry.
It's just a scheme for fraudulent activity.
All right, okay, my dear friends, we're a little over time, but those are the points that needs to be clarified. I basically not saying I'm going against the mailing process, absentee vote. I have no problem.
Right.
But the problem is that you do not lose your record.
Mass mailing is just insane.
All right. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. And to Cam, thank you very much for sharing.
Love you guys.